Hello guys, today we're going to be solving a system through substitution. Make sure you copy down the notes, pause the video if you need to, learn how to be a proactive note taker. Make sure you copy it, label everything down. So, solving a system, we've learned that a system is when we have two or more equations that are related. So for example, on example number 1, we have y equals negative 5x plus 40 and y equals 3x. One of the strategies that is very commonly used in mathematics is substitution. So what does the word substitution mean? Really, it means replacing. So we're replacing something here. We're plugging in something else, maybe some people might think about it that way. Plugging in a value. So we've done substitution before, and this is just what we're doing here. So let's start with level 1. They both equal y, and because they're both equal to y, you can set them equal. So let's write that down. All right, so I went ahead and wrote it down. Let's go ahead and do the math. So instead of putting y equals negative 5x plus 40, I'm going to put negative 5x plus 40 equals, and what's the other y? The other y is 3x. So therefore this equals 3x, like that. And then here we're just back to solving multi-step equations. We want to combine all our x's. So I'm going to move this negative 5x by making it a positive 5x. If I do it on one side, I got to do it on the other. Bring down my 40 equals 8x. And then we have to divide by 8. Divided by 8. X equals 5. However, if we remember, a system has a solution that is a coordinate. Remember that we have an x and we have a y. So now we have to plug in x equals 5 to find y. And the nice thing about this one is that it's easy to find the y. So I'm going to plug this back into one of these equations. I'm going to plug it into the bottom one. It doesn't matter which one, but the bottom one looks like it'll be easier. So I got y equals 3, and instead of x, I'm plugging in that 5. So therefore, my y equals 15. So my solution here is going to be, solution is 5, 15. There it is. That is what solves my system. All right, let's go ahead and try another example for solving a system. As you can see, example number 2 also has y equals and y equals. If they both equal y, we can set them equal. So we got negative x plus 24 equals negative 5x, like that. And we're going to solve here. We need to combine our like terms. So I'm going to add my x. Again, if I'm going too fast, make sure to pause the video, copy down the notes, rewind anything that you might not understand, leave me a comment. 24 equals negative 4x. And then we got to get the x by itself. So I'm going to divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. Negative 6 equals x, because these canceled out. And again, this is only half the solution. We still have to plug it back in. You can plug it back into either equation. I prefer the bottom one because it looks like it might be easier. So we got y equals negative 5. And instead of x, we got to plug in that negative 6 we got. So y equals a negative and a negative is a positive. 5 times 6 is 30. So our final solution here is negative 6, 30. Like that. Alright, so that was a very simple introduction into substitution. Let's go ahead and do one more example, which is a little bit different. This is also a very common type of substitution method we see. Let's look at this one, level 2. Here, it's different because we don't have y equals on both sides. or x equals. So we can't say that this side is equal to this side because we have x and negative 11 there. So we need to do something else. Here, this is where we're going to plug in the bottom equation into the top equation. Now, this is where a lot of students start getting confused. So here is a negative 11. Negative 11 is everything in this equation. However, in the bottom equation, there is no negative 11, so we cannot substitute a negative 11. All right, let's look over here. We have an x by itself. X is the same thing as negative 6y. Therefore, do we have an x in the top equation? We do. We have an x right there. So instead of plugging in x, we're going to plug in negative 6y. So I'm going to plug in negative 6y into the top equation. So let me show you how I'm doing it. Here's my original equation. X minus 5y equals negative 11. And I know that x is the same thing as negative 6y. This is a system where both of my equations are related. Therefore, that's why the substitution works. So instead of plugging in x, because I can't solve something in two variables, I'm going to plug in negative 6y. I substituted my x for 6y, and then I'm going to bring the rest of my equation down because it does not change like that. This is where the substitution occurred. Reemplacé la x por negativo 6y. So we got a negative 6y and a negative 5y. Now I have one variable I can solve. Alright, so that's why we do substitution, to get one variable. And I'm going to combine my like terms. Negative 6y and negative 5y is negative 11y equals negative 11. And then we have to get the y by itself. So divide by negative 11. Negative 11. Y equals positive 1. Again, that's only half the solution because the system has a coordinate as a solution. So now we got to plug in that y back in here. It's easier to plug it into the bottom one. It doesn't really matter which one. So I'm going to have negative 6. And instead of y, I'm going to plug in that 1 I got. So negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. X equals negative 6. My solution is negative 6, positive 1. Alright guys, hopefully that made some sense. I'm going to post another video for you to see a little bit harder examples. Just let me know if you have any questions, email me, and make sure you watch the video again so that you can understand. Have a good day. Bye-bye.